The New York Times released a study showing that worker compensation has fallen far behind the increase of productivity. In the 16-year period between 1995 and 2011, workplace productivity jumped by an amazing 38%, but in the same time, the compensation of the average worker increased only by 10%, while workers with high school degrees saw their wages go up only by 6%. In 2013, the long-forgotten promise of a leisurely, post-Fordist utopia, offered by amazing advances in technology, has died. Americans today are working harder than ever. Emerging from this difficult economy is a new class of worker, the personal assistant. The role of the personal assistant has evolved out of the secretary, but it comes with new responsibilities. Unlike a 9-to-5 secretary, a personal assistant is available at any time to accomplish any task. The personal assistant is the epitome of a service worker in a corporate setting, an expression of the liquid labor most desired by the upper class. What better product to sell? Apple has capitalized on the imagery and fantasy of having a personal assistant to market Siri, an addition to iOS that promises slightly less expensive personal assistants in the form of a voice-controlled artificial intelligence. While Siri does not do much more than offer speech accessibility to the functions a phone might already have, the way Siri has been marketed suggests the luxury of an actual personal assistant. But what if Siri had more human needs? For this project, I decided to explore the implications of personal assistant software being affected by its difficult work conditions just as people are. Enter working with SARA. SARA is a design for an alternative personal assistant that challenges the notion of perfect automation. To work with SARA, you must form a relationship with her over time. She will not be able to meet your demands on a whim, and like a real personal assistant, she doesn't respond well to being overworked. While the form of SARA's logo text was clear to me from the beginning, I played with color and shading before coming up with the final design. Eventually I settled for a metallic look design that would be readable both on dark and light backgrounds. One of Siri's key visual elements is a light that begins to rotate around her icon while she is thinking of the answer to a question. For Sarah, I decided she would be represented by a similar light, but one that is always on, showing that her thought process occurs outside of your requests. The speed and color of the light indicate her mood and thoughts in ways that aren't always clear to the viewer. To prototype working with Sarah, I began to work with Undum, an engine for creating text-based adventure games for web browsers. Instead of making a fully fledged iPhone application, the project could instead be communicated as an interactive narrative piece. Undum is based on HTML5, JavaScript, and CSS. The dialogue trees for the game are stored as JavaScript files, and afterwards you can see a short demonstration of one dialogue tree working. Continuing on working with Sarah, I would implement the aesthetic of the interactive and complete the coding and writing for the interactive narrative. Hopefully the project can make people reflect on their relationship with personal devices in the age of Apple's Siri and the upcoming Google Glass.